All right, today we're going to talk about something that's, one of the biggest keys to unlocking your freedom, managing your money. And look, this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about building a real system for financial independence, one smart habit at a time. Okay, does this sound familiar? You land a pretty good job. You see that paycheck hit your account, and man, for a week you feel rich. But then, somehow, by the time the next payday rolls around, you're just counting down the days, wondering, where did it all go? It's a super common and, let's be honest, really frustrating feeling. Yet this cycle actually has a name. It's the paycheck to paycheck trap. And as finance creator Austin Williams breaks it down, it's a really simple but kind of vicious circle. You work, you get paid, and bam, you immediately spend a huge chunk on essentials like rent and bills. Then you take that little bit that's left over and spend it on everything else until, poof, it's just gone. And that's not really living, right? It's more like just existing until the next paycheck. So what's the solution here? Is it just about earning more money? Well, not exactly. The really crucial point is that financial success isn't determined by the size of your salary. It's about how you behave with the money you have. Author Morgan Housel puts it perfectly when he says, it's not about how smart you are, it's about your behavior. And hey, that's something absolutely anyone can change. And if we're going to change our behavior, we first have to understand what's driving it. And this is where it gets really interesting. Think about this. Research shows that about 40%, nearly half, of what we do every single day, including how we spend our money, is just driven by habits running on autopilot. Our brain does this to be efficient, right? But it means we're making financial decisions without even thinking. So the real key here is to make those automatic habits work for you instead of against you. And this right here illustrates one of the biggest behavioral traps we fall into, confusing looking rich with actually being wealthy. Investor Mark Tilbury explains this so well. Looking rich is all about the visible stuff, the new car, the designer clothes. But true wealth, that's the stuff you don't see. It's the savings account, the investment portfolio, the fact that you have no debt. It's that quiet financial security that's just building in the background. And really, at the heart of all this is managing our expectations. We live in a world where it's so easy to see everyone else's highlight reel online and feel like we're falling behind. But like Morgan Housel says, happiness isn't about endlessly getting more stuff. It's about closing that gap between what you expect your life to look like and the reality of what you actually have. This is the perfect antidote to lifestyle creep. That thing we all do where our spending just naturally grows as our income does, and we don't even notice it's happening. Okay, so how do we turn all this insight into actual action? We need a system. Because let's face it, relying on willpower alone just doesn't work, especially when you're tired or stressed. A simple, clear framework takes all the guesswork and emotion out of the equation and puts you back in the driver's seat. And here it is, a simple but really powerful rule for dividing up your income. Just think of every single dollar you earn being split up to do 4 different jobs. We've got 25% going to growth, that's for buying assets. 15% goes to stability, think of this as your safety net. 50% covers your essentials, all the must-haves. And, this is crucial, 10% is for rewards, that's your guilt-free fun money. So let's break that down a bit. Your growth account is for buying assets that are going to work for you, like index funds. Your stability account, that's your emergency fund, a buffer of say 3 to 6 months of living expenses so an unexpected bill doesn't completely derail your life. Essentials are pretty straightforward, right? Your core needs. And finally, that rewards account, your joy jar, is money you can spend on whatever you want completely guilt-free. Seriously, this isn't about punishment. It's a strategy that makes the whole system something you can actually stick with. Okay, so that's the framework. Now let's get practical. How do you make this real? What are the first most impactful steps you can take, like starting today? But before we get to the specific steps, I just have to show you this. This is the absolute magic of compound growth. So meet Billy. He starts investing $200 a month at age 20. Now here's Phil. He waits until he's 30, but he invests $300 a month to try and catch up. Fast forward to age 60. Even though Phil invested $12,000 more of his own money, Billy ends up with nearly twice as much. How is that possible? It's simple. His money just had more time to work. The single most powerful asset you have is time. Please, don't waste it. Okay, so here are your 4 actions. Number 1, automate your 25% for growth. Set up an automatic transfer on payday straight into some low-cost index funds. Just set it and forget it. Number 2, build that stability fund. Put your 15% into a high-yield savings account. It's safe, it's easy to get to in an emergency, and it earns you way more interest than a normal account. Number 3, tackle that 50% for essentials. The key here is to focus on your two biggest costs, which for most of us are housing and transport. Even a small win there can free up a ton of cash. And finally, number 4, create that joy jar. Seriously, open a separate account, transfer your 10% in, and enjoy it without a single shred of guilt. This part is absolutely crucial for making your financial plan stick. You see, the real secret to all of this isn't some huge, dramatic, one-time action. It's about understanding that financial success is built brick by brick through the power of small, consistent habits that you just repeat over and over and over again. So the most important thing to remember is this: achieving financial independence has almost nothing to do with luck, or a fancy degree, or a massive salary. It's all about the system you build and the small, intentional habits you practice every single day. The power is in your hands. You are in control. And that's really the ultimate takeaway. True financial freedom isn't some big event. It's a process. It's not built in a single day of frantic effort, but in the quiet, consistent habits that you repeat day in and day out. So my question for you is, what is one small habit you can start today?